Do you like D&D as much as I do? I enjoy the game. I enjoy playing tabletop, Baldur's Gate 3, solid games. I love the D&D universe. However, we have some bad news today. It looks like a game that was in the works that it looks like has been talked about for like a year or so, coming from Stig Asmussen, the guy that brought us God of War franchise, Star Wars franchise, was going to make a Dungeons and Dragons game. However, it looks like it has been canceled by Hasbro. Let's get into it. So let's see what it says here. Stig Asmussen's Dungeons and Dragons game canceled by Hasbro. Hasbro has canceled the Dungeons and Dragons game that Stig Asmussen's Giant Skull Studio was developing. So I did some research and it says that Giant Skull Studio did works on Gauntlet, Dark Legacy, Dr. Muto, God of War 1, 2, Chains of Olympus, and 3, Mortal Kombat, God of War Ascension, Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So they made some pretty good games, right? Why did they cancel this game? Who knows? It says back in June 2025, it was announced that Stig Asmussen's Giant Skull Studio would be developing a new Dungeons & Dragons game for Wizards of the Coast, and within a year of the announcement, it was canceled. This is the second D&D game to be canceled in recent times, with Starbreeze also halting work on Project Baxter. It's not good. I mean, I know that you're looking at Baldur's Gate 3 right now. This is a fantastic game. This is my second playthrough. I'm playing it with a friend. I'm loving it. He's really enjoying it. Definitely a good D&D game. There's been plenty of D&D games back in the day, which you had Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Icewind Dale, and then a couple ones that were not so good, but you still have the D&D Online. Neverwinter Nights is pretty good. They have made plenty of D&D based games. However, with the recently canceled 2, not too sure what's going on in that department. Not good news, because a new, Dungeons & Dragons game would be pretty good, because it looks like, from what I heard, the guys at Larian Studios are not going to be making a sequel to Baldur's Gate 3, unfortunately. They are already working on their next game. So it says here, Hasbro's new Dungeons & Dragons action adventure is no longer in development. A new Bloomberg report reveals that Hasbro and Giant Skull publishing deal is no longer in effect, resulting in the cancellation of the Dungeons & Dragons game. A spokesperson for Wizards of the Coast stated that they, quote, assesses concepts at every stage of development, unquote, although they decided to not to move forward with Giant Skull's initial concept. The team has, quote, great respect for Stig Asmussen and his team, unquote, and values their ongoing relationship. That's unfortunate. Again, like I said, it would be good to have another Dungeons & Dragons game to come out. I don't know what is going to happen now, because you have Larian working on their new game. Looks really good. We saw what that looks like at the Video Game Awards, Divinity Original Sin. It's going to be in that's their universe. It's not D&D, it's cool. I like that they have their own concept, but as me, I do like to play tabletop D&D. I enjoy playing it with people, at the bars. It's a fun time to do it. However, if I don't feel like playing tabletop, I do like to play some action adventure on the PC. That's why I like Baldur's Gate a lot. So it would have been nice to see another D&D game. Says the upcoming Dungeons & Dragons title was set to be a single-player action-adventure game that allowed players to explore a new Dungeons & Dragons universe. That's interesting. So Dungeons & Dragons, but a new universe inside it, like a new campaign. Okay. This game promised immersive storytelling, heroic combat, and exhilarating transversal experiences for players. It was being led by Stig Asmussen, known for his work on titles such as we said, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and God of War 3. Asmussen stated, things are good at Giant Skull. So if they're going good, they're making these other good games like Star Wars, which couldn't really get into the Jedi one. I might go back, but it was pretty good, and I love the original God of War series. Banger games. It's interesting that they're going to make something new in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. And I know Wizards of the Coast may not have liked that. Maybe they didn't like the idea of where it was going. I mean, I'd rather them come out with it. This was going to be a single-player action adventure. So it wasn't going to be online. You want to be able to play with your friends most likely. Though, if you consider Baldur's Gate 3 to be a single-player game, even though you can play with your friends, maybe it was something like that. But I like that. I like the concept, single-player action adventures that allow players to explore a new Dungeons & Dragons universe. Heroic combat, and immersive storytelling. Could have been like Baldur's Gate, but something different. Something, but still in that universe, but something new. Okay, I'll check it out, right? In other news, along with the first trailer at the Game Awards, Warlock Dungeons & Dragons received a release window of 2027. Additionally, Dungeons & Dragons officially arrived in Fortnite earlier this year, which I don't play Fortnite, but whatever. If you do, that's cool. And there's a lot of fans to check out. A lot for fans to check out. So we'll leave it at that, guys. What do you think? I mean, it's kind of disappointing because I would like to have seen a new Dungeons & Dragons game, a new concept for it. And they have a great track record with Star Wars and God of War. I think it would have been pretty cool. That's a shame. I don't know what happened in the background. Maybe they didn't like. Maybe Wizard of the Coast didn't like it. Wizard of the Coast sometimes to me, or they're funny. They try to be silly with certain things they do with Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, which I play too. And they do some really stupid progressive crap in there. And maybe they didn't like what they saw, what this team was going to do at Giant Skull. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm just reading the news and telling you what I think. But we'll leave it at that, guys. Are you fans of Dungeons & Dragons? Do you like Magic the Gathering? Are you disappointed in this news? Do you care? Are you playing Baldur's Gate 3? I am. I'm almost done with it. Second run with a friend. A lot of fun. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like videos like this, leave a like. Come back again, and we will continue to give you the news. Well, I will. I don't know who we is.